Yo, 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 it's your boy Joe.
This your boy Greg with the co-pilots from coast to coast. We do the most. So what's your flight? Whatever it is, we got you covered.
Hey man, so we had a little technical difficulties a little earlier, man. But we back on Co-Pilots Podcast, episode 78 in the books, man. And so Greg, how you feeling, man?
Man, everything good. Like I was saying, man, I went to go see my little nephew play ball today, man. He played Ed Waters College. It was Ed Waters University. And they had two games. So I went and watched the first game, and he had four base hits, and I think two or three stolen bases, man. He had a good game today. And man, he balled out, man. So I was proud of him. I got it. I almost forgot. I say, damn, let me run that good thing. Like, the ballpark right around the corner from me. Hurry up and got dressed, drove down there, made it there
Mm-hmm.
right in time, right before the game started.
That's what's up, man. I gotta catch, like I said, I'm gonna catch this next game next week, man. I definitely gotta be there, man. And see what he talking about and how it worked, because when I looked on the schedule thing, it had I'm saying, like, I know he play on the other team, right?
Um, no, well,
Or
they
he play
played.
on the big team.
He played on the JV team.
Yeah,
He
that's what I'm
played.
saying. What time they play? Do they play at the scheduled time, or they play it on another field or something like that? How
I
that
had
usually work?
I haven't even. Yeah, they play at the same field. I haven't got a. I haven't looked at the schedule. I just know when they tell me he play, I just slide up there.
All right then.
So
All right then. That's what's up though, man. We gonna get right to it, man, and we gonna talk about Super Bowl 59, man. Um, and I want to start off by saying, to in the words of Wild Fan Young Lucci, you gotta win, fight, and conquer. And that's what them boys did, the Eagles.
oh yeah.
They went out there, they put on, the defense was just dominating the defensive front. And I mean, all night Pat Mahomes was harassed. And that was the story of the game. When you look at how, like, the Eagles came out, and it looked like for that first quarter, it looked like the Chiefs still had was gonna win this game, because how Jalen, that was a bad interception when he threw. And the way the Chiefs defense was playing early on, it just seemed like they was destined for a three-peat. But by midway through the second quarter, man, you just seen this team was they was destined.
Right. And one of the things I was telling people, like, before the game started, I say, man, for some reason, man, I like Philadelphia to win. And I know we got this stigma that you don't bet against Pat Mahomes, you don't bet against certain quarterbacks, but sometimes, man, um, other teams, man, they play just as hard, man. And and it's, and a few of the things that I noticed that was going to take place, I was like, man, and it happened. It was crazy, right? I was telling people, I say, man, the Super Bowl, you don't have to worry about the ref making any bad calls, and which they did. And I say that's why I feel like Philly is going to win this game. And I say also you got to account for the pressure that's going to be coming up the middle that give a lot of elite quarterbacks a problem. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
this was one of the things that gave Tom Brady a lot of problems going against having the pressure up the middle versus coming off the edges. And we know that when you look at this Philadelphia team, they are real strong in the interior of their defense. And so also too, I pointed this out. I say, man, watch that boy Cooper DeJean, man. He's going to be one of the X factors with this defense. And he was one of the best slot corners, man, in the slot this season.
I ain't gonna
So
lie,
he he's able to play on the
he can play,
outside and
man.
he can play in the slot. And that's trouble right there. You get what I'm saying? When you got to cover the likes of Travis Kelsey, which we know that is Pat Mahomes' favorite target. So when you can
Mm-hmm.
take away that, whereas he got to rely on other targets, man, that's going to be a problem all the time.
Yeah, man. And when I thought that, when you look at the Eagles defensive line, man, I thought, watching them play throughout the course of the season, I didn't think their defense was legit, because I was like, the NFC, that's just to keep it real. The AFC has been the better of the conferences the last couple of years, and so I was like, they ain't really played nobody. But man, that defense showed up last night, man. I mean, they got after Pat Mahomes, man. I mean, this guy had no time, man. One of our favorite players, Jawan Taylor from the Jazz, boy, he got whooped up all night last night, all
And,
night.
and you know what's crazy, right? Like this season, the Eagles had the number one defense. They had the number one ranked defense, right? And
Right.
that's worth noting. But the story behind this Philadelphia team the whole season was Saquon Barkley. And that
Right.
took a lot, you know what I'm saying, the airtime or you know, the notoriety of this defense because if you think about when you had the Seahawks, the whole talk
Mm-hmm.
their defense. You get what I'm saying? And
Right.
a lot of these other teams. But Philly defense was good. And you have to give credit to their front four because I don't think they blitz none this game. And a lot of times, man, you know, when you go with the safe, just rushing your front four, you get what I'm saying? A lot of times, man, your line is able to hold. You get what I'm saying? You got to think. You got Kansas City offensive line, which had a decent line for the past few years. And so when you're going against a team that's only rushing their front four, you got to think that, man, my offensive line stand a chance against them. But one of the key things I seen, man, which limited Patrick Mahomes was, you know, a lot of times when he's under duress, he's going to run up that middle and break out for at least about 10 yards. Each time he tried to scramble through the middle, through the, you know, through what the tackles was at, like through the A gaps or the B gaps, he was unsuccessful. And a lot of times it ended in either a sack or maybe get like 2 or 3 yards. And so and that's usually his game plan. That's usually something that he's good at. But when you got Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter as your two tackles, man, it's hard to do that, man. I'm talking about that's going to be a dangerous tandem for years to come, man, especially with this defense. That's going to be a dangerous tandem. And also, man, like I say, you got that secondary. Um you got Mitchell or Ricky, Cooper DeJean. You got Zach Barnes. Like these are some stud players that they have on their defense. Like we already knew that Philly had the better team. When you look at talent from top to bottom, Philly had the better team as far as talent. But at the same time, most people, when they made their bets or whatever they did, they went with the stigma that you do not bet against Patrick Mahomes. But one of the things you always have to look at is this, and just like I pointed it out, when you have these top tier quarterbacks, when you have a defense that is able to bring pressure up the middle, that's dangerous. And also to add with that, the number one rated defense in the league.
I will say, you know, Saquon did take a lot of the shine off of the defense because, like I said, when they pulled those stats up and they showed during the Super Bowl, I was kind of shocked that the defense was that good. And I want to salute the Eagles, man, because last year that defense was ass, and they came back this year and they made do. And I
Right.
think a lot of it had to probably do with that Jazz game when we watched them. The defense didn't look that great that Jazz game. You get what I'm saying? So I mean, they still want the game, but they showed a lot of vulnerabilities. Last night, uh, they didn't show no vulnerabilities, like none. Even in the NFC Championship game against the Redskins, they showed some vulnerabilities that they could, you know, that I thought the Chiefs would take advantage of. And I mean, they played a perfect game, and that's the only way you can beat Pat Mahomes. You look at the last two Super Bowls Pat Mahomes been in; it's been blowouts, and if it's kind of been similar. The pass rush got to him. In the Tampa Bay Super Bowl, they pass rush got to him. So it seems like they're starting to be a little secret to the formula to beat Pat Mahomes. If you got an elite pass rush that's gonna be disciplined, and when they rush lanes, not gonna give him no room to scramble, don't give him and they're disciplined, you can beat Pat Mahomes. And you got to keep your foot on his neck. You got to keep scoring. You can't take it, can't kick off. You see how he put up what in the fourth quarter, even though during garbage time, he was putting up some stuff. So I just think that now, you know, like again, I guess we can start kind of bogged down on the GOAT conversation with Pat Mahomes. And speaking of GOAT conversation, let's segue into that, Greg. What's your thoughts on Pat Mahomes? Do you still think that he can be put in the GOAT conversation with Tom Brady now?
Oh, absolutely. Now when people always brought up that he is the GOAT, you know, I always had like, you know, a pause because like I cannot put him as the GOAT as of right now. And I was saying that before this game. You get what I'm saying? And for this reason right here, when you look at Tom Brady, he has longevity. Like he was able to get a Super Bowl win in 40. He also have 7 rings, by the way. And with Patrick Mahomes now, if I'm talking, and this goes back to when I had the conversation about LeBron James, Jordan and Kobe, when I was talking about the GOAT versus being the greatest of all time and being the best of all time. Like as of right now, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback we ever seen in the history of the game. Hands down. You get what I'm saying? And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that no one will debate that. Some may, but it's few that will debate that. But when you're talking about in terms of greatness, that's always going to be a whole different argument. Tom Brady, like I don't even have Tom Brady as being probably the best. If I was talking about the best quarterbacks I've seen in the time I have watched the game, Tom Brady would not be in my top 3. But
You want to say
if
that?
yes,
Wow.
but if you're going to ask me who is the greatest quarterback I have ever seen, I got to go with Tom Brady. You get what I'm saying? When we talking about the GOAT conversation, Tom Brady will be up there. He can be number one still. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like when I'm talking about the best quarterbacks I have watched play, I got to go with Patrick Mahomes. I got to go with Aaron Rodgers, and I got to go with also got to go with Peyton Manning. You get what I'm saying?
Wow.
But
So I'm saying this though. You saying I think we all get. I like Aaron Rodgers, bro,
mhm.
but I think we get on with his arm, his talent. He's a special talent, but when it comes to leadership, bro, and leading the team and things like that, man, I don't know if I could put Aaron Rodgers in the GOAT conversation. After based on solely how he this New York Jets thing, I think for me has put a bad taste in my mouth with
Notice
Aaron
what I
Rodgers.
said though. I didn't say Aaron Rodgers was the top 3 in the GOAT conversation. I say
Right.
the best players of all time that I watch. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's why I say it's a difference. If like when I point out Aaron Rodgers is one of the best like before I saw Patrick Mahomes, I had Aaron Rodgers as the best quarterback I've ever watched. And before then I had Peyton Manning. You get what I'm saying? And the only thing that separate Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers from Tom Brady is their mobility, their ability to run. But you talking about like when I'm talking about now, if I'm going to say a pocket passer, just pocket passer, oh yeah, Peyton Manning hands down. But at the same time, like if somebody was to tell like argue me and say Tom Brady or whatnot, okay, fair assessment. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm always going to point to like to a team. You get what I'm saying? Like the teams, each one of them had like because like people say Mahomes, like as of right now, they say okay, we're gonna put a pause on the GOAT conversation. Fair enough. You get what I'm saying? Um, but you have to remember this: early in Tom Brady career, you got to think that he was not the driving force behind these wins. You get what I'm saying? He played good. It's almost similar to like when we look at Brock Purdy. Like it's like almost similar to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people want to point out the interception that Pat Mahomes had. You also got to look at Tom Brady now, not the one that he played in Tampa, but look at his last 2 Super Bowls that he won prior to that. He had his numbers was identical to Patrick Mahomes' first half numbers. When you look at in terms of interceptions, yards, turnovers, and things of that nature. In the first quarter, in the first half, he had 2 interceptions in the Atlanta game.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the game against Seattle, he had 2 interceptions that game. You
Right.
hear what I'm saying? The thing that was able to that the thing that turned everything around is that he didn't have the same amount of pressure on him in the second half. You get what I'm saying? And your
Right.
defense got to be able to make plays and whatnot. And it's why I get always bring up if your defense is playing good along with your offense, then that's when you start to be able to say, yeah, this quarterback was able to make a comeback. But your defense got to be able to play good as well as your offense.
Yeah. in this GOAT conversation as well, man, the defense as well. They're a part of it. And if you, I mean, you just look at historically, all Tom Brady Super Bowls.
Mm,
Shit, his defense played a major part in him winning those Super Bowls.
right,
It wasn't just like him carrying the team. And you look
right,
at those early Super Bowls, I can say make a case that probably the first two Super Bowls, I would say the defense carried Tom Brady. It
right.
wasn't until like they got Randy Moss, I would say, when the offense really opened up for Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? That's when it was like, okay, Tom Brady is like carrying his team now. Is, you know what I'm saying? So
And
uh
and also you can look at like the Super Bowl against the Rams or whatnot. Tom Brady
mhm,
had a horrible game. Like that was the worst Super Bowl we ever watched. And it's crazy, right? Because you can say that Tom Brady was a part of the worst Super Bowl we ever watched and one of the greatest Super Bowls we ever watched. And even that one he lost, but he played a good game though. You get what I'm saying? Like he
right,
lost against Philly, but due to no fault of his own because he played a great game. That you get what I'm saying?
right.
And so you can't count that against him, you know. So
I feel you.
I have to be fair to that because I would use that same argument to, when Pat Mahomes lost to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, which he didn't have no offensive line. His whole offensive line was banged up.
Hmm.
But and like I say, man, is a lot of times, man, is variables that happen with this, outside of just a player playing bad. Sometimes you have that, like, yeah, he playing like trash right now. Like in the first half, Patrick Mahomes played bad. You know what I'm saying? But you can also say the same thing for Tom Brady in the first half of some of his games as well, that he played bad. But the thing was that turned things around. Your defense was able to play good along with you playing good as well.
Yeah.
So that is why I say I do not take, like I say, I never had like as far as being better. Oh yes, I still got Patrick Mahomes ahead of Tom Brady. I got him as the best quarterback I ever watched. But in terms of the GOAT conversation, like I always had a pause with that because his career is still going. He's still building his legacy. Like, I'm not going to put a quarterback with only 3 Super Bowls over a quarterback that has, I mean, you can, but you still have to he got lot more football to play. You know what I'm
Left
saying?
plate. I get what you're
Right.
saying.
Like the things that Tom Brady has done already, like I mean, even like look at the comeback wins. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like now, even though that Legion of Boom team was banged up, like because like when you put a comparison with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, right? And I'm going somewhere with this, right? Like, like Tom Brady got one of like they got this record, right? Like the number one defense is, I think, as of right now, going into the Super Bowl, they are 11-2. When you got the number one defense playing in the Super Bowl. Now, one of those losses that the number one defense took was against Tom Brady. You get what I'm saying? Now, that is a testament to his greatness. Now, but at the same time, now that same defense destroyed Peyton Manning. You get what I'm saying? So now this is an argument I always receive when I say who the best quarterback is, when I always vouch for Peyton Manning. Now, this is an argument I always get thrown at me, right? But at the same time, like I always say, is a lot of times it's variables. Now, when you look at that team that Tom Brady went against, that Legion of Boom team, that was a whole different Legion of Boom team that Tom Brady went against. You get what I'm saying? Now, even in the first half, they gave Tom Brady problems. But one of the things that happened in the second quarter, you had a ton of injuries. You had Cliff Averill that gave that was giving Tom Brady hell that game. The defensive end, he got hurt. He didn't play the second half that I remember. Um, if you remember the two cornerbacks that played on the other side of Richard Sherman, they was down to their third string cornerback.
Yeah,
And
because
if
I
you
remember they had lost the year prior. They lost
r-
Browner
right,
to I think it was Eagles, and one of them had signed him to that big contract.
I think it was the Saints. One of them did. It could have been
One
the
of them
Eagles.
signed got to sign a
Right.
big contract. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Browner had this little steroid thing too, the usage and everything as well. But
Hmm.
like if you recall that game, like Tom Brady might have thrown maybe 2 or 3 passes that was over 10 yards. You get what I'm saying? Like everything was like short. and because you had the cornerback playing so far off, playing like 10 yards back, and they was like constantly like driving the ball downfield, which was a good strategy by Bill Belichick, by the way. But but that was a whole different team because the team that Peyton Manning played against, like they had a good rotation. Remember they had if you remember they had Cliff Everett and they had Michael Bennett on each
Michael
side.
Bennett.
But
Yep.
when their rotation, you had I can't think of it, Clement and Red Bryant was the other two dudes they was rotating with. If you remember the next year, they went to the I think one of them went to the Jags. I want to say both of them might have went to the Jags, Red Bryant and Clement. You get what I'm saying? So you didn't
Hmm.
have that same constant rotation with fresh legs coming into the game. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why I say, man, it is variable. Sometimes things happen, but nevertheless, in those situations, he came through and he stepped up. So you can't take nothing away from him because you can't control what you play against. You only play against what's in front of you, and you do a good job that count towards your legacy. So, nevertheless, man, you still gotta have Tom Brady as the GOAT, and I still had him as the GOAT even before the Super Bowl. This ain't nothing I'm talking about in hindsight. You get what I'm saying? He was still the greatest player of all time, quarterback, still the GOAT or whatnot now. But at the same time, Pat Mahomes still nudging, he's still threatening that position. You get what I'm saying? But that has been my take on that, and that is still my take on that. But
Yeah.
like I say, Patrick Mahomes, he still is in the GOAT conversation though.
Yeah. Yeah. Pat Mahomes, man. I think um, he's still in the conversation. I just think right now, um, a lot of people is probably going to be like want to take him out of the conversation just because everybody's a prisoner of the moment right now. This is
Correct.
probably one of the probably this is probably the worst a lot of people have seen Pat Mahomes play on the big stage. You know what I'm saying? Even when it came to that Super Bowl against the Bucks, I mean, he played bad, but it wasn't this bad. I
It
mean,
was
24 yards in the first quarter. I mean, the first half. I mean, the offense could not move the ball at all. So everybody's probably looking at, oh, no, he's not a GOAT quarterback because GOAT quarterbacks don't play like that.
why they don't.
But I just think that we got to, like you said, man. He
That's
still got a
right.
long career ahead of him, man. He gonna get back, get motivated, and shit. If he's not the GOAT quarterback, they're still favored to win next year's Super Bowl.
Right.
Even after the loss, they still favored to win. So that says something right there about Pat Mahomes.
See, it's crazy, right? Like people would say that GOAT quarterbacks don't play like that. You get what I'm saying? But the same, like I say, man, I just pointed out like three scenarios when you seen Tom Brady play like that. With Peyton Manning had those type of games. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
I
there's
get what you're saying.
and there's
I'm
still
not saying me per
no, no,
se.
no. I know.
Yeah,
I
but
know
I'm
you're
just
not
saying
saying
people.
this. That's what I'm saying, and I'm saying that to them. I know you're not saying this,
Right.
but like, you get what I'm saying? And like, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, we got them as like two of the greatest quarterbacks we done watch play the game. You get what I'm saying? And then the other quarterbacks, how many, it ain't too many times they done been to the Super Bowl. Just going to the Super Bowl and not playing good is still a testament to your greatness because you made it
Right.
there. You know what I'm saying?
I
All together.
I agree. I think a lot of people right now just prisoners of the moment,
Right.
and I think also too, you have a segment of America. I say America's, but you got a segment of America that was kind of rooting low key for the Chiefs to lose, the Taylor Swift movement, all that. So that you're gonna have haters. You get what I'm saying? But
Right.
I think at the end of the day, bro, when you look at the Chiefs, Pat Mahomes, man, this guy, he's doing something that a lot of young quarterbacks haven't done, man. This guy's
Right.
still under the age of 30. And how many Super Bowls he done played in? This is what, fifth Super Bowl?
Yeah. Got three
You get what
in
I'm saying,
chamber.
bro?
Right.
So I mean, 5 Super Bowls under the age of 30, bro.
Yeah.
You talking with the big dogs. If you not in the conversation, you might be in the room or you
Oh
close
no,
by.
he
You feel
he
me?
definitely he right in their face, like
He in a
um,
somewhere. You
he in
feel
they
me, man?
he in their
But
face, like you know what
that's
I'm
what's
saying.
up, though, man.
But
Um,
what's crazy, like, cause people like you know Cause it's been this big thing for the last couple of years by, people like, they tired of seeing Taylor Swift and everything. Like, I don't get that. Like me, my thing is this, right? Them showing Taylor Swift has no bearings on the game. Like it don't it never took away from, the replays, the plays. Like we never missed the play, we never missed the replay or none of that just because they showed Taylor Swift. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I guess like you have people hear somebody say something and they just have to add to it or just be a part of it, all of a sudden like they disagree with the move as well. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand it, like they're gonna show her a lot. She's a popular face. I get it. You get what I'm saying? I have no problem with that. You get what I'm saying? Because I can watch the game, see her, and they right back to the play. I never missed a play of action. I never missed a play of football because they decided to show Taylor Swift. So it's like I don't get it with people like have like that always have this rant about them showing Taylor Swift they show her too much. You get what I'm saying? Like, how
Mhm.
is it affecting the game of football? You get,
I get what you're saying. Like,
yeah,
is it killing you that much? It's
right.
like, I get what you man, and
It don't
it's
affect nothing.
crazy people that be it's crazy that people they let their emotions get the best of them. And don't get me wrong, bro. I'm one of them people that probably get a little agitated with the Taylor Swift thing only because I feel like uh she has no part of the game. Like you know what I'm saying? But it's not to the point where I'm not rooting against them. Like
Yeah.
I just think that every time Travis Kelsey do something, you don't have to turn to her to see what her reaction is. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a little cringe worthy, but all the points you made was valid.
Yeah. Like
Hey, you're
I
not taking
love
away from the game. You see in the replay,
hmm,
there's nothing. So if there's a little, they want to be a little extra.
yeah.
It's cool, but I just think for the die-hard fans, they look at like, hey, it's all about football. That's not stick. That's not bring pop culture into it. Let's not get
It,
a fan base of people that don't really care about football into football.
it's too late
But
for that.
I see what the NFL doing. They trying to
Yeah.
spread business.
Right.
So I see it both ways.
Cause it's like Saturday Night Live. You get what I'm saying? You're gonna bring people that's probably never watched Saturday Night Live at football players, but they're a part of the show. You get what I'm saying? You bring them on
Right.
as sometimes they may bring them on as a co-host, but
Right.
for popularity reasons or whatnot. They may have
Right.
never watched the segment, for me, for example, I've never watched it. If it come on, like, I mean, if it's on its own, like, it's nothing I cared about. But let's just say if I was a celebrity, they say, we want to bring you along to be on, you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason. I'm going to go on the show. You get what I'm saying? I'm going to go on the show because I know what it can do for my brand. You know what I'm saying? So, like I say, it,
Right.
it has like now, if it was taken away from the actual game, then I would have a problem with it. But it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? David Cuz say, it say it's a business and a platform. Yeah, it is. It is a business, and I understand the business side. You get what I'm saying? Because you know you also like in business and this is how you able to pay your players, your workers, the people that make you money. You get what I'm saying? So you want to keep your business as lucrative as possible because you have to pay the players that work for you and everybody else. So I mean, I understand that standpoint as long as it don't take away from the game. I'm all for it.
Oh, that's what's up, man. And I just we have to and we all as humans sometimes. And I know me being one of those older guys, we have a hard time changing. So, and that's just
Right.
one of the things that for me, I have to change and be like, hey, is it that bad? And it's not really,
Right.
but like you said, man, it's all about business, man. And I know if my bottom line, if I can make some money, shit, I'm gonna make that money too, man.
Straight up, straight up.
Straight up. So let's segue, man, and let's talk about uh Super Bowl. Let's talk about some of these halftime performances, man. I mean,
Some of
everybody's talking about
some of them,
Kendrick Lamar performance.
it
You
was
got
one
some
halftime.
people that like it. I was watching hating ass Jason Whitlock today. He had a whole breakdown on why it was, and you got to watch it. It's funny, man.
Oh man,
It's funny as hell, but
it was crazy. I haven't even
Jason
talked.
Whitlock was talking about it, so I thought we would talk about it tonight, man. Some of these performances. I mean, me personally,
Some of these,
I
it
don't.
was only one performance. Some of these it was only one performance. But go
Yeah,
ahead though.
But I was gonna say some of these performances, man, I would say they wasn't all great of all time. I mean, I just thought, Kendrick Lamar, it wasn't my favorite. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I thought there was other Super Bowls that performances that were a lot better. So why only way, the co-pilots podcast tonight, we're gonna talk about our top 5 Super Bowl performances that we've watched all time. We've both been watching a lot of sports for a long time and the Super Bowl since we was younger. So we're gonna talk about our history and like what we thought are our top 5 Super Bowl performances, man. So I'm gonna take it off to you, Greg. You gonna give me your top 5, your number 5. I'm gonna give you my number 5.
Well, I didn't prepare for it, but I'm gonna go off my head right
Just
now
go
of
off the
what I
head,
have
bro.
right now,
It's all
and
good.
and it's not in no particular order. Like,
Facts.
man, of course you gotta have boy Mike. That gotta be up there.
Okay. Okay, he
Prince,
on mine too.
Prince, like how everything, and it was the moment for me, like how everything happened. And, you perform in purple, then it rained. Like Prince may be number one. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Um, man, Madonna is most slept on. If you go back and watch, like at one time I had as that was one of my favorites, like Madonna. And I'm not like this big Madonna, but it's like I'm watching the performance. I'm like, man, it was like it was nice, and it was very nostalgic because it took you back
Right.
to like what was going on pop culture around that time or whatnot. And this around the time we was kids,
Right.
all this was going on, and that was one of them. I also liked it, the one with Beyonce, um, Bruno Mars and Coldplay. I liked it that. I didn't like the whole performance, but it was fire. It was fire how
Right.
they, cause anytime you put Bruno Mars, you got Beyonce. Like, Bruno Mars, he's one of those people, right?
Right.
I would never want to perform after. If he was doing a show and I'm on a bill with him, and they booked me to go after him, I would say no. Let him close the
That'll be
show.
the main attraction.
I would never want to close the show after him. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
He's one of those guys. Like, do not think you finna perform after him. You know what I'm saying? Maybe somebody like Chris Brown. You get what I'm saying? But me, not. A lot. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and could I put like I didn't? I gotta go back and watch Bruno Mars the halftime show before that, the one he did when when um when Seattle beat Denver. I got to go back and watch that. I'm sure it was
Mhm.
great, but I missed it due to circumstances. Well, yeah,
Right.
I was locked up at the time, but I saw some of the game. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know my story, but I saw it, I was able to see portions of it or whatnot. This time I was in the county jail or whatnot, back on my appeal, and I want to put Kendrick Lamar at that fifth spot. He's in that fifth spot as of right now.
Okay, you gonna have to break it
That
down, bro.
that could change. And I'm gonna say this right, the moment. And this is why he probably would be in probably top 5 for a lot of people. It's the moment. You get what I'm saying? You got to think about it was highly anticipated. Like, what halftime show was more highly anticipated outside of this right here? The only reason why a lot of people won't like Kendrick, because a lot of people like don't feel Kendrick music because they may not understand it. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people don't like what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of people don't too much get into they don't get into what's the word I'm looking to, man? Conscious music, conscious rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people feel like Lil Wayne would have been, but because they want something that entertains them, excite them. For me, I'm kind of like well rounded when it comes to this stuff. And like, I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was looking at the message with it, like, um, that Kendrick was putting, and online, people going different ways with it or whatnot. The message I got from it, like, was kind of just simple, like, and for me, that was like Kendrick, like saying, forget what, the box they gonna try to keep me in. I'm gonna be defiant. And not personally, not necessarily being defiant as if like I'm going to be like this guy that just buck all the rules, but the rules they try to give us that we, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm gonna be defiant to the system that keep us under oppression, you know, and that's what I was getting from that. And so I love the show, man. I loved it. So as of right now, that is in my top 5. But I know that the what we were always waiting on for him to perform that song. You get what I'm saying? And man, listen, it and yeah, I know that we probably shouldn't be waiting on this here because we know that it kind of goes into the rap battling, the beef and everything, and it's pretty much a personal battle. You get
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? It's like not just say like cultural hip hop where you got a rap battle going against. This is actually a personal beef between the two. But
Right.
I would be lying if I say that I went one of those people that was like, he got to perform that song now. He got to, and you got to think, bro, the crowd response when he
Yeah, I
said
know,
A
man. It went
A
crazy, dog.
minor, the
Yeah.
crowd was so loud at that point right there. The crowd response, like, and
Right.
that's why I say, man, even if you don't agree with what he was saying and everything, like what you didn't like to perform, look at the crowd response. And hold on, David just say to me it was about the symbolism with Kendrick. This was our Super Bowl for us black people. It was deeper than what y'all saw. Correct. Correct. You know what I'm saying? I totally agree with that. And that's when I brought up and that's why I brought up being defiant. You get what I'm saying? Like he could have performed They Not Like Us and the Super Bowl could have been just flat. You get what I'm saying? But because everybody was waiting on that moment. But outside of let's look at outside of the beef with him and Drake. He performed those songs and everything like that though. I still would have said it was a good halftime show because I done seen some that I expected good out of, and it was like, oh man, because for example, Maroon 5, I was anticipating that one. I'm usually not big on Super Bowl halftime shows, but Maroon 5, I'm a fan of theirs. I was anticipating that. I said, okay, man, you got Adam Levine finna perform. Oh, this finna be a classic. This finna be a classic. Man, when I seen it, I'm gonna be honest, I was disappointed. I wasn't a fan of it. You
Yeah,
know,
nah.
then now what made it good, you had Big Boy Sleepy Brown come out there. And they kind of helped it a little bit, but I was disappointed in the show though. I thought it could have been better. Of
Yeah. Well, for me, man, you got an interesting top 5, man. My top 5, man, I got, Michael Jackson. He
course.
in there. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was reason why I put that one in because that was when I first started really watching football, understanding the game, and Michael Jackson at that time probably was the biggest star artist in the world at that point. I mean, that dude,
Larger than life, man.
he was larger than life. And I would still remember going to school, man. It was this, I was in second grade. It was this one girl. It was a girl. Her name was Mary, dog. This girl was like the biggest Michael Jackson fan, girl. I mean, she was the biggest Michael Jackson. You couldn't say nothing. You remember how like back in the day, kids was cruel. So we used to mess with Michael. Oh, he talked like a girl, or
Yeah,
he soft voice. Dog, that girl boy, she go crazy about you. You had to talk about Michael Jackson in front of her, man. Still
right.
remember that. Now, the reason why I say the choreography in that halftime show, dog, like the organization, everything that it took, all the pyrotechnics and everything that they had with Michael Jackson, dog. That performance was so like I don't think nobody can ever top that, in my opinion. I think that's the best performance ever in a halftime. The next one is his sister, dog, Titty Gate. You
Oh
know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake, Diddy, all them boys. I actually like that Super Bowl performance, but
that was good.
'cause
That was good.
that was pretty good. The next one, bro, I gotta go with. I gotta go with Destiny Child, dog. I thought Destiny Child, them
That
doing
was
that
good.
that Super Bowl that year, dog, was pretty dope, dog. You know what I'm
That was
saying?
good. That was a good one. And I could put that one, but for me, it wasn't long enough. Like I
Right.
thought that show was like too short. And I'm like, damn, that's all because it was a great halftime show. But I'm like, damn, that's all we get. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm like, man. But it was a good halftime show.
It was
It
it
was a
was a
good,
good halftime
good
show.
halftime
Uh,
show.
and then I gotta go with the one with when they had Travis Scott. Damn, who else it was? Travis Scott. I think it was the one he did in Houston
Okay.
that year. I think it was Beyonce. Was it Beyonce? I think Beyonce did the halftime show too.
How many she had? She
She
did
done,
the
she
one
done
in
been on. Yeah, she done
she
did
did
it
the
like
one in New
she. Yeah,
Orleans,
it's been a couple. I want to say it was with Travis Scott.
and she did the
Forget, and
one
then
with
the last one we just did with Snoop. I gotta put that on there. That
that
was
was
probably
that's
about the
good too.
most hip hop halftime show we ever had, dog. The one with Dre, Kendrick, 50 Cent. I gotta put that one as probably by far outside of Michael Jackson. I gotta put that one as the second best halftime show.
That
So
that was
those are
that
my
was
top
good too though.
five uh halftime performances, man, that I had to give, man. But I can't put Kendrick in there because the only reason why I would put Kendrick in, and I'm gonna put this comment right here. I'm gonna show this comment and you let me know what you think.
Right.
This is what David had to say. And he
Pissed off a
said
lot.
he pissed off a lot of people last night on the political side, but to me, Whitney Houston did that. I think Whitney Houston, she sung the national anthem,
Yeah,
which
she
she
had the
by
national
far
anthem.
sung the best national anthem ever. I think everybody I always say she sung the best national anthem.
Yeah.
Super Bowl 25, Giants versus the Bills.
Mm.
I think it was the Giants versus the
I
Bills.
think
I
the
think it was that Super Bowl.
Cowboys versus the Bills.
It was the Cowboys.
Yeah.
It was that Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
Cowboys versus the Bills.
Okay then.
That
But
run I
yeah,
first
man,
started
that's
watching
probably by
football.
far, the best national anthem. But yeah, man, I think Kendrick did piss off a lot of people. Like I said, man, you got to go back and watch. It's funny, dog. Got to go back and watch Jason Whitlock, his thing about the whole Super Bowl
Oh,
thing
snap.
with Kendrick Lamar. Man, it's funny, man. You gonna get your laugh on. Uh, but I think for me, I feel what everybody's saying. I feel what David's saying. I feel what you saying. Like what he was doing, but when you look at the entertainment value of it, and that's what the halftime show was supposed to be about, the
Yeah.
entertainment, I thought it lacked a lot of the entertainment value versus the other ones that we talked about. When you talk about the Madonnas, when you talk about the Princes, like they gave you great entertainment. Like, get what I'm saying?
Right.
And when you look at Kendrick Lamar, his performance, it was like, yeah, you taking a political stand, and we fuck with it, we rocking with you, we fucking with it,
Right.
but it didn't give us that entertainment. And I think if you're not a person like us that's really in the know, you wouldn't have really liked the halftime show. You
But
get what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah. I think like if people look on the political side, you always gonna have a 50-50 right there when they get to that.
Right.
And so I mean, like for me, I thought it was entertaining, but I can like, okay, when you look at that, you know what I'm saying, in the sense of that, let's say for example, right, and it's going to your argument.
Right.
Let's say that you had somebody that had a different and I'm not even big on politics, but I'm just throwing it out there. Let's just say like if I was and somebody came with different political views, I didn't agree, and this is what they was coming up with or whatnot. It's probably a chance I probably could feel the same way. But I thought it was like real crazy. Like I liked it with the PlayStation controller, whatnot. Then it said game over, and somebody brought this up, right? And I never looked at it like this. I looked at it so many different ways, but I never looked at it like this here. Sony is made by PlayStation. No, PlayStation is made by Sony,
Mm-hmm.
and that is the record company that Drake is a part of, Sony Records.
Right.
And I
Somebody,
thought
yeah,
somebody
Jason
pointed it
Whitlock,
out.
who it was? Somebody pointed that out too.
I'm like, wow, that now that was part that I missed. Like a lot of the other stuff they were saying, I was like, okay, yeah, I pretty much got that. I pretty much got that. I pretty much got that. You get what I'm saying? But when they brought that up, and that made me start, because me, I'm a deep thinker. I like to
Mm-hmm.
think, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I can be a shallow thinker as well, but like I'm a deep, like I just sit back and thought, and I just love to like ponder on stuff. And I'm like, dang, like I didn't think about that. Probably because like I'm not in depth as like with music as I used to be, like far as like with who signed with
Mm-hmm.
who and things of that nature like that. Though.
Right. Yeah, man, he threw a lot of subliminals at Drake too, man.
Yeah.
A lot of subliminals, man. Like I don't know if people caught that, but that A chain he had on, the
Yeah.
small A
Yeah.
minor. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? When you pronounce it lowercase, uppercase. You get what
Right.
I'm saying? I think a lot of people didn't catch that with
Man,
the A chain.
that was bananas, man. That was, and like I say, man, I don't think, and like I say, man, going back to why I was like the reason why I got it because that is going to be the most talked about Super Bowl halftime show ever. Like it got so much. It's like when I was
It
strolling,
did.
like I couldn't. It's like man, every stroll you seen the performance, like people like comment. You had so many stories behind it. Whether they went to the political side or just the funny side or the hip hop side or whatever the case may be. You get what I'm saying? Like this man pretty much like it got everybody calling him what he calling him
That word, yeah, we know
a
what it
choke. He
is. We
got him
can't,
calling
we
him a
don't want to
choke.
say it. We don't want to get
Yeah. He
shadow
got
banned.
right. He got him calling him a choke, man, in front of everybody, man. And I ain't talking about the choke when they talking about money. But
Right,
yeah, he got everybody quoting this and having the world saying this like about you because, like, you know, in life and in prison, that's the worst thing you can ever be called. Especially in
right,
prison. You at the bottom of the food chain. That's the worst thing you can be called in the prison system. And just, amongst most just you know what I'm saying?
right,
And I think sometimes it get looked at because it get kind of downplayed somewhat because he's this big artist that's larger than life. You get what I'm saying? He's Drake. But
mhm.
like if this was anybody, like he would be looked at like the scum of the earth. And I'm not saying that these things that's being said about him is true. But I'm just commenting on it like everybody's is quoting this like it's a catchphrase now.
You right. And I mean, shoot, what can you do, bro? I
Yeah.
mean, the way it was, bro. I mean, it seems like to a lot of it was just more so like an attack on Drake, man. And then when you think about it, bro, we have to bring the question up, bro. Like,
Like,
who
is it
took the
over?
bigger L? Because there was so many subliminals, like SZA. I don't know if you know he used to date SZA back in the
Right.
day.
And
Then
then
he was dating Serena Williams back in the day.
right. It
You
was
get what I'm saying?
crazy.
So it's like all these people you know that are attached to you. You know
And
what
they
I'm
say she
saying?
was dancing in the X of the controller, the
In the
X.
X of the controller, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like so many different little subliminals that like if you just look at it was like an on attack on Drake. Like he couldn't have watched the Super Bowl halftime show and not be like damn dog, like that's how y'all doing me though. Like uh, man, it was bad, bro. But if I had to make a choice though, had to choose a person that took the bigger L out of Drake or Pat Mahomes, bro, I gotta say I gotta say I'm gonna say Drake, bro. I
I'ma
think he
say
took the
Drake.
bigger L, bro.
Yeah,
I
like,
gotta say Drake took the bigger L.
bro, like because what we seen in the Super Bowl with Pat Mahomes is we seen this before. We seen this with Peyton Manning. You get what I'm saying? We've seen this with tons of other quarterbacks, but we seen this also with Peyton Manning, who we just talked about it in the GOAT conversation.
Right.
Master Master Chess Master Chess Maker, man. Yeah. But like with Drake, this was never seen before, and we knew it was gonna happen. We knew like when that move was made, we like, oh, bro, it's the end. Like, maybe he can revive his career or whatnot because Jay-Z came back out the ether. But at the same time, something of this magnitude right here, we never seen this before. We never seen
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. He
Like,
gotta
so he took
yeah,
the
man. This
big
is
L's.
real big, man. He gonna have to drop a Stillmatic, like a Stillmatic type album, like how Nas dropped. You know what I'm saying? When he dropped Ether, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, not saying that he got a beef like this Kendrick, but what I'm saying is he gonna have to get back to the music, and I
Yeah.
mean he got to put out them bangers. That's the only way
Oh,
you gonna get over this, dog. You got to put out them bangers, dog. Like
Drake is a
it's
walking hit maker,
put
so
it out.
it's
Yeah, he
like,
a walking hit maker. He's a walking hit. You got to put them bangers out.
yeah,
And if it was me, my strategy, if I was Drake, I would go just for the ladies, dog. Fuck the dudes. I'm
yeah,
LL. I'm going for the ladies. I
right,
ain't fucking with you. I ain't fucking with y'all ninjas no more. I'm a LL Cool J Ja Rule type of rapper now. I'm gonna
yeah,
stay out of this battle rap shit. I'm gonna stay in my lane,
right,
and I think that's a good lane to go in, bro.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? But um, you know what I'm saying? We talked about the Super Bowl. We gonna beat that up enough, man. Let's slide on to some Jag talk, man. I think we can, you know what I'm saying, successfully say that. You know, I'm wearing my Jaguar shirt today, so you know I couldn't wear it none throughout the season, bro,
Oh,
because it was just a horrible season,
I
man.
had mine on during the Super Bowl yesterday, man.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
I
I
had my
could.
Jag shirt on during the Super Bowl yesterday.
Yeah,
Straight
man.
up.
I actually, you know what though? Did I have my Jaguar shirt through Super Bowl? No, I didn't. I'm lying. I'm lying. I didn't. I didn't, bro. I'm capping like a
I had
mug, bro.
mine on. Sure enough.
But I will say this, man. You know, just my thoughts on the rest of the season, bro. I think we all can say that the season was a disaster. Um, but I think it's hope though. You get what I'm saying? You know,
Right.
you got Liam Cohen coming in. I like what he's doing. I'm just gonna say this, bro. And when this, I know you probably like, yeah, I know I'm happy because they did what I asked them to do. They went youth. They did a youth movement in Jacksonville. Something that we haven't done. Oh, I'm lying. We did do this, and it was brought up to me by shout out to, I don't know if you watch him, the Locked On Jaguar network with the shot with.
I'm gonna check them. I watch tons of stuff. I may not even remember their names, but if I see it and it's like I just watch
Yeah,
stuff. Just
it's called Locked On Jaguars.
right,
And the guy brought it up. He was like, we did this in 2012 when we brought on Dave Caldwell and Gus Bradley. At the
right,
time, Gus Bradley was a young up and coming coach in Seattle, and they went and got a up and coming young GM in Dave Caldwell. It
right.
didn't work, but I think a lot of that had to do with we didn't have a lot of football people in the building. The organization wasn't as, and Shaq Khan was just coming into the NFL world. Now he's been in the NFL world for over about 10 years now.
Yeah.
He got
Then trying to clean up a mess too. You get what I'm saying? You got to think
right,
like. I mean, we drafted players like Ace Sanders. You know what I'm saying?
right, bro. We was yeah, we
We
was horrible.
came and gave what's that running back? We gave a big contract to,
You talking
man.
about Toby Gilhart.
Hard. We gave him a decent contract and gave him the starting job, like, and without even working for it.
Right.
So it was like, man, it was crazy. It was like we were trying to clean up. It was crazy, man.
It was.
And I look
And
at
so
how
now
things.
look, fast forward now to 2025. I like what Shad Khan's doing, man. And I watched the interview with Tony Khan during the Super Bowl. And he talked about a lot of the changes that and I didn't know a lot of this shit. But Jacksonville is probably one of the first organizations that brought analytics into their organization. Before Jacksonville was like one of the leading teams. And I didn't
Oh
know
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Prior to that, they wasn't prior to Shad Khan, them taking over the team, no one was into analytics.
I remember they was doing
Jacksonville
that.
brought that on. And now we see that what they're doing with the younger guys, they're putting a lot of investment into the coaches that they brought in. Like you look at the guys that they brought in. We got the youngest offensive coordinator in the league right now. And you do seek.
Right.
And this guy's gonna do great numbers with Trevor, man. I think what he did with Sam Darnold, dog, and not working with Sam Darnold, and what Sam Darnold was a bust to get him to play. He played if he can get Trevor to play like that, bruh. I think this guy's not going to be our head coach, our offensive coordinator alone. This guy's going to be a head coach. If he can get Trevor, can turn Trevor around, bet on himself, and get us to the playoffs next year, that dude will be a head coach, the offensive coordinator. Mark my words. So I'm liking what Jacksonville doing, bro. I'm loving it. It's everything I asked them to do.
Mm. I mean, I have no problem with it either. You get what I'm saying? Like, like, in spite of what we let go, it's like, okay, you still gonna try to take a step in the right direction. You bringing in a new coach or whatnot. Coach it seems like he's well qualified. So I have no problem with that. And I'm gonna always say this. My main thing is this: you have to get Trevor Lawrence to play better. You get what I'm saying? Like, that is the main problem. Like, I didn't see like, I'm not saying that all coaching staff or all GM wasn't at fault. Like, they did, like, I didn't agree with everything that they did,
Mm-hmm.
but like I say, the biggest thing is this, man, and it's with Trevor Lawrence. Is he gonna live up to be a court? Is he gonna live up to be worthy of the first round pick? Forget the generational talent tag. You get what I'm saying? I'm not I'm not even worried about that right there. Is he's gonna live up to be the first round talent that we draft him for? That's the
Facts.
question. You get what I'm saying? And that, whatever coach we have to that is what they're going, that is the task that they have right there. It's and like when I watch him play, my biggest thing is this, man. Like, He has to get better with his pre-snap read. Has to get better against the blitz. He has to get better in the red zone. You get what I'm saying? And that it and avoiding turnovers. Like his pocket awareness has to get better. And those are things that I look at and I watch him. As far as being accurate, like he was very inaccurate this season. But for the most part, watching Trevor, he's always been an accurate passer. You know what I'm saying? It was always the small things that got me with him. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
like going forward, like the two things I would go after, like I say, man, I know Travis Hunter is very appealing. I would love to have him. I know different like the cornerback Will Johnson, he's appealing. I would love to have him too. But the two things I think that we should go after, and it's me.
Mm-hmm.
Either we go after offensive lineman. You get what I'm saying? And our offensive lineman played a lot better towards the end of the season. I don't know if a lot of people noticed that or not. You get what I'm saying? Like our offensive line played a lot better towards the end of the season. Um, but at the same time, to be on the safe side, it's like because we only seen Van Lanen only a few games. So the question would be that do we keep Van Lanen in the offense and see what he looked like in year two, or do we go with one of those like the offensive lineman out of Texas, one of those guys,
Come on, Kelvin.
um,
Okay, dude, name Kelvin. Is it Kelvin Ingram or something like Kelvin?
Kevin
I
Johnson,
get.
I think, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I know
But
you're talking about. Yeah.
also another guy, man, I would love to have, man, Graham out of Michigan, the defensive tackle out of Michigan. Man, when I like watching him, oh man, like that dude gonna be a problem in the league. Like he a dude I would love for us to go out there because we got two edges. And a lot of times they always put emphasis on pass rush and everything. And I hate when they keep bringing this up every year. We going like we got two pass rushes, we got two edges. It's no need to go after an edge rush in the first round. I don't know why they keep bringing this up like this is a primary need for us. No, you get stronger in your with the A gaps. You know what I'm saying? In the interior of
Mm-hmm.
your defensive line. That is what you target. If you're going to go defense, you go after a guy like Graham, man, the guy that's going to clog the middle. We seen this in the Super Bowl, man, with Davis and Jalen Carter. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This was one of the main things that kept Patrick Mahomes unable to do what he normally do because they kept the middle clogged up. He was not able to step up in the pocket. So that would be a spot, man, I would target for us, man, on defense, man. Defensive tackle, man, going after ground, man.
Yeah. And just thinking about what you just said too, man. I think about a video I was gonna do probably about a couple weeks ago, and you hit on some of the topics that I was talking about was uh if they didn't want to go Travis Hunter. I said exact. I mean, in so many words, I said the same thing you said, man. I was like, we go safe pick, get an O line, go safe, get an O line, or we go D line. You got that guy out of Tennessee that I like. I think James Pierce or whatever his name is. I think he's on the O line. He can play either three technique off. He can play the end too. So, I mean, but again, bro, you have to get the trenches straight, bro. I think that's what we have to really focus on. And start talking to hearing what Lynn Cohen say about that's what his focus is. I think that's how you build a team first. Get the trenches right, because you get the trenches right, O line straight, D line straight. That's the foundation of your offense and defense.
Right.
So I think we can get that. We can get solid up there. But like you said again, man, a lot of people keep sleeping on not on Trayvon Walker, man. I think we solidified at the end. This guy has quietly been a solid defensive end. I know everybody
Right.
keep talking about Aiden Hudson, but if you compare these guys side by side, the stats ain't that far off. It ain't like
Correct.
Aiden Hudson running off the field with fucking Trayvon. Trayvon is holding his own too.
Right. And I look at like if you talking about just a pass rusher, yeah, you can give it to Aiden Hutchins or what we just, from what we have seen. But you talking about athleticism, like who can cover better. Like I'm going to give it to Trayvon Walker. He's able to cover from the edge position. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Trayvon Walker is more versatile than Aiden Hutchinson. And a lot of people gonna probably say I'm crazy for saying what I'm saying or whatnot because people like to go with the popular name or the
Hmm.
popular opinion, but just break down the tape. You get what I'm saying? Look at like even in Georgia, like um, he was one of their more versatile players. He wasn't projected as a first round pick because he played multiple positions and whatnot. He never got stable at one position. But we seen it like, he's come he had he got two straight seasons of he got double digit sacks. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and also what he's able to do in coverage, and it's something I watch, when he's playing in coverage, like he can identify when you got the running back running in the flats and everything like that there. So I would say he's better at coverage, or you get what I'm saying, or if he's just as good as Aiden Hutchinson as playing in coverage. But I got him better at being a more of a versatile player, but just a solid pass rush, I got Aiden Hutchinson. So like I said, I didn't agree with that pick when we got him. I wanted Aiden Hutchinson. But at the same time, looking at everything, how everything playing out, I'm not disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think and I think that'll be a waste of a pick. Now, whoever GM we get in here, they still doing the interview process. I think Ethan Wall got an interview. They's looking at some guys from the Rams organization. They're looking at a guy from I think the Minnesota Vikings organization as well.
Mm,
But it's being spearheaded by
Lynn
Tony
Point.
Baselli, which I
Okay.
think that's a good thing because now that he's a part of the team, the organization, um, he have talks with a lot of NFL players, executives, and things like that. So get a guy like that that's in NFL circles, you know what I'm saying, outside of Jacksonville, you get what I'm saying. That
Right.
helps, and that's somebody that we haven't had in a long time. The only person we ever had was Tom Coughlin,
Right.
and I think he was I mean, his style was just too outdated.
Right.
Now you got a guy like Tony Baselli that's young. He can communicate with a lot of these guys. I think it's gonna pay dividends in the long run. I just think that dog, when you look at Jacksonville Jaguars, it's a new era, dog. We're catching up with teams like the Ravens. The
What do you want to know?
No, that's my goddamn somebody was calling me.
Oh,
But we're catching up with these organizations, and it's a good thing, man, because I think this team is gonna be hell of a lot competitive next year, man. If Lynn Cohen can just, I think he's nailed the staff, dog. This team can really turn it around relatively fast.
and not only that, man, with Tony Baselli, you have a
So
Jaguar
that's
guy.
my take on the Jazz talk, man. I'm excited, bro. I can't wait for OTAs to start this year.
Yeah. And like what I was saying with Tony Baselli, you have a
Hello?
Jaguar guy. You can hear me?
Oh shoot.
You can't hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay. And yeah, what I was saying about Tony Baselli, man, you actually have a Jaguar guy. You get what I'm saying? Somebody that has been with this organization from the ground up, that started out, he got drafted with us. You get what I'm saying? He also made he's our first Hall of Famer in Jacksonville. So he's pretty much know the office, man, front and back, been there as a player. Now he's in the front office. So, I think that'll help. And also, man, you have somebody that actually have a passion for the team. Like, from what I'm getting with Tony Baselli, it's not just a job. You got somebody that's in the front office that has a passion for this team. So for me, I would think that that is the most important thing that we did with this team is having Tony Baselli in the front office.
Yeah, man. That was a knockout hire, man. And reports are that they've been grooming him for this position for a couple years now.
Mm,
So I'm just glad that it happened this year. And I think it was the right time to put him in his position when he clear house. Because if you think about it, man, if they would have kept him around, bro,
Yeah.
and Trent Baalke and all them, and then you bring him on, I think you got to give Tony Baselli, what I'm saying, a clear slate.
Right.
And they gave him that, man. And I'm just excited, bro, because when you listen to him talk about the Jaguars, man, he understands like
Right.
this team has been hella bad for so many years.
Right.
And he looked back and be like, bro, this team ain't been good since I played.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? They ain't been good.
Not
And
consistently good.
it can be frustrating as a player who, like, not all players, but the players that bleed teal and black. You got
Right.
some players that bleed that shit, man. And the people that bleed that shit, man, they like, bro, they want better. They see the expectations. They want to let these guys know this is the Jaguar standard, dog. We gonna play at this standard. If you're not gonna play at the Jaguar standard, you're not gonna come to Jacksonville no more and go get a paycheck and ride off into the fucking sunset.
Gotcha.
Because we get a lot of dudes that do that shit. Hence Hugh Douglas. I don't know if you remember Hugh Douglas when he
Y'all
came and
remember
took
Hugh
that
Douglas?
paycheck. Yeah.
Y'all remember Hugh Douglas?
Yeah, man. So I can rant on about that, man. I'm pretty sure you could as well. But I know we got one more segment to get into before we get up out of here, man. And let's talk about the NBA, some NBA talk. The winners lose the free agency, man. I'm gonna give my spiel. I think the winner of free agency right now, I know everybody obviously gonna talk about Luca,
Right.
but I think the San Antonio trade, them getting De'Aaron Fox was a good trade.
Oh
Now I
yeah.
don't know if guys, a lot of people watched the Orlando Magic game on Saturday. You got to see them play in full form. You know that duo, and they look good, man. Wembley hit some timely buckets to keep the game good going in the fourth quarter. Chris Paul gonna be Chris Paul playing lights out defense. Competitive. It was a great game, man. And I think once they get gelling, San Antonio right now they're in the play-in spot. But I think if they can get this thing going in the end of the season, San Antonio can surprise a lot of people, man. So I'm looking at them. I think they're going to be the biggest surprise in the Western Conference. Or another team that's going to be a big surprise too from the Eastern Conference, man, is I like what Toronto did, man. I think they went and got Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram's up there in Toronto now, I believe. Is it Brandon Ingram?
I don't
It's
even
no,
remember.
I'm lying. It's not Brandon Ingram. It's the Pelicans. They made some moves as well. Um, so that's another team that could possibly be sneaking up on some teams in the Western Conference. So those are my two teams that I think instantly that I think in the winners losers section when it comes to NBA that we got to watch out for.
Well, obviously when I look at long term down the line, man, you got to look at the Luka trade. That's the more popular trade or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I had mixed feelings about it, but when I'm looking at it short term and long term, I have difference of opinion. But it always a good thing when you can set your team up long term with a generational talent like Luka. You get what I'm saying? Even if you're not going to set the stage to win this year. So I gotta shed light on that, even though I kind of downplayed it last week, but just thinking about it, I kind of, like it a little, that much more. And obvious the trade with San Antonio, with De'Aaron Fox going to San Antonio. But one of the trades, man, and I think this is slept on, right? And I think that this trade is going to make them a contender in the East, and probably can possibly go all the way and win it all. And that's Cleveland. Man, Cleveland got DeAndre Hunter. You know, they established themselves. They got a wing out there, man. They got a dude that can shoot the three ball and can play defense. Like you got a dude that's on your team that's going to be able to guard at least from the 1 to the 3. Like he'll be able to guard Tatum, be able to guard Brown, be able to guard Drew Holiday. You get what I'm saying? So, and also he can score. Like he's probably, I want to say maybe he's coming off one of his best seasons. He's having one of his best season in terms of scoring because he's averaging 19 points a game this season.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, man, I think that like with him going to Cleveland, man, he's going to make them a contender, man. He like it's going to be tough. They made it that much tougher for Boston. Now, don't get me wrong, experience trump a lot of things. But I think that by Cleveland bringing in DeAndre Hunter, man, that's going to make them that much more competitive, man. I think that might have been like one when you looking at terms of winning now this season. I think that was the best trade made before the trade deadline.
Another trade that just came to my head, honorable mention, dog. I forgot to even mention it. Just wow about me, and I think this could be a trade. This could be a potential Eastern Conference matchup. The Bucks trading Chris Middleton for Kyle Kuzma.
Um,
I thought that was a good trade only because you trade a guy that is damaged. I mean, Chris Middleton has not been the same player since the injury. So you get a guy like Kyle Kuzma, healthy, reliable, who's played in the playoffs, played in some play. He know about some big games, and you don't ask him to do a lot. You just
Right.
ask him, hey, just hit them timely buckets, bro. I
Right.
think that's a good move for them guys. I think that was a clear upgrade. Now, it's unfortunately Chris Middleton got traded to the Wizards, but they had to do what they had to do, man. They trying to make a playoff push, and
He got a ring, so hey, man, you know what I'm saying?
he got one, yeah,
Got a
man.
ring.
Yeah, I think that's a low key good trade as well, man. Chris Middleton, Kyle Kuzma trade. I think that could help the Bucks out as well.
Right.
Um, so any send offs, man, before we go into the arrivals and departures?
Nah.
So we're gonna get into our arrivals and departures this week, man. And I'm gonna start, man. I'm gonna go arrivals. My arrivals this week, bro. I gotta give it to James Winston, bro. I think he was the star of the Super Bowl week, dog. Like, it's so many viral clips of James Winston, bro. Just trying to get on Shaq Khan boat, to throwing out crab legs to the crowd,
Right.
to actually AJ Brown doing his dance when he
Right.
scored the touchdown. You know what I'm saying? He asked him to do it, he did it. I mean, throwing dubs to I mean, it's so many viral moments with James Winston over the week, man. And I think this dude really has a life after football, especially in sports broadcasting, man. I can see him being in the booth, calling games. I can see him working at ESPN or one of these major networks, debating one of somebody. He has some crazy takes. But I think when you look at James Winston overall, bro, we saw that special talent at Florida State. Unfortunately, it wasn't on the football field, but you just knew this guy was special, man. So I'm a little long winded, but I gotta give my boy James Winston some flowers, man. He my rival for this week.
Right. Man, I gotta go with the Philadelphia Eagles, man. They knocked off Patrick Mahomes, man. And not only this, right? And it's something this is the second team they stopped from three-peating. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
They stopped the Chiefs from three-peating, and they also stopped New England from three-peating. So
Damn,
I
so
gotta give
did
big ups to them and
Big
also,
Dick
man,
Nick.
yeah, man. So yeah, man, for the Philadelphia Eagles, man, that is my rivals, man. They could and with the team they have, right, they could possibly be back. Because you
Yeah,
gotta
man.
think, man, not only that, man, the confidence level is building now.
Mm-hmm. I got two departures. My first departure, the New York Football Giants. Y'all let Saquon go, and he go win a Super Bowl in the next year.
What?
Y'all boys, I know.
Lead the league in
Oh,
rushing?
and lead the league in rushing. So I mean, and then he win a Super Bowl only with a team in your division.
Right.
So y'all like 2, 3, 4 time losing New York Giants, man. I mean, boy,
And the guy they
Tiki
kept is
Barber,
and the
eat
guy
your
they
words.
Mhm.
You said what you said about that man. You gotta eat your fucking words, Tiki. You know what you said, man.
and and
So
and the guy they kept in place of him, the quarterback Daniel Jones, they end up, they about to let him go as well.
exactly. It's crazy that you say that, bro. It's this kind of like how Jacksonville was 2000 post. You remember we had a good run that one year. They signed the wrong people, and the team just fall apart. Not
Right.
saying that that's happened in New York, but it's sort of similar. When everybody was like, "Why y'all sign Blake Bortles? Y'all should have signed Jalen Ramsey."
Mm.
So, but yeah, but my other departure, bro, man, Lamar Jackson. That's heating up for your ass, man. It's heating up. And I love you, bro. I love you, bro. Florida boy all day. But it's starting to heat up now, man. Jalen Hurts won a Super Bowl before you. Hey, man, that spotlight gonna get even bigger next year.
Well, I think for this, and this is my thing, like with Lamar, right? You get what I'm saying? I think the narrative has went away. Can he perform in big games now? You get what I'm saying? I think that they looking at as a team, can the team get over the hump? Because at first we was looking at Lamar as like people was looking at him like, oh man, he when it come to big games in the playoff, he's not playing as well. But now we look at his last two playoff performance, they was actually good. They was actually, I wouldn't say all along was great with his last three, rather. You get what I'm saying? He actually played good in those games. You get what I'm saying? And he even played better in the last week. You get what I'm saying? And it just so happened that, you know, Andrews dropped the pass that could have tied the game up.
Right.
And so I look at it as this like this when the game was on the line, he stepped up. Although he had some mistakes that he made in the game, but when the game was on the line, he was able to tighten up, man, and rally his team behind him and make things happen. So I think like that for me, that stigma has went away. But I never had, I like to let things play out. But I think with most people, that stigma has got thrown out the window right now. Like, can he perform on the big stage, perform in big moments? But
Yeah.
it don't I mean, but you're gonna have the naysayers just because Jalen won a Super Bowl and everything. But in that case, I mean, you might as well say the same thing about um what's your boy name? Allen, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Right. And we know that he's well capable of winning.
Well, I'm gonna say this reason why I say we put the pressure on Lamar Jackson. I'm gonna say black culture. I'm just gonna call it out. Our hip hop culture.
Mm,
We tend to leech on to Lamar Jackson. We leech on to Jalen Hurts. Those two particular black quarterbacks, just because from their background, where they from, things like that. And now I just think when it comes to the hip hop black culture, everybody's gonna be looking for Lamar Jackson. Like, dog, you up? You know how we be, man. Hey, bro, you got one. When you gonna get one? You get what I'm saying? Like,
right,
you let Hurts get one before you get one, bro.
right,
You get one. So I think when it comes to barbershop talk, things like that, those conversations gonna be had now.
right,
And Lamar Jackson got to be real with himself too. He know that too. I think he do.
right.
But at the same time, there's nothing taken away from his talent and that he's a great player. It's just I just think there's a little bit more added pressure that you let a guy that who's been in the league a lot less than you get a ring before you, and you've been there and had more opportunities than he has.
I think them Super Bowls gonna I mean the MVP is gonna kind of help Lamar's case a little bit. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like when you because anytime you look at like a Super Bowl win, I mean, you looking at individual performance. Sometimes judging the person off that, but you mostly looking at the team performance. I mean, that's how I like to look at it. But when you look at
I feel
individual awards, like the MVP, that's an individual award, like saying that like I was the best quarterback. I was, but at the same time, it's like you have to have that same energy when it comes to the playoff as well. And I think
right.
I think he displayed that. But like I say, but I think with him, I don't think you have to put pressure on Lamar. I think Lamar already know, man. Coming out of college, the pressure was on him. He already knew that he was gonna have naysayers. I think he already know that's the ultimate goal. I did this, the MVP. I did that, which he should have won this year. So what, he want to win. He want to win the big one, and I think that he pretty much got that already made up in his head already.
Yeah. I just I think he's gonna be back with a vengeance. And the crazy part about it is the Eagles are I think fifth or sixth favorites to win next year. They got the Chiefs, the Lions, the Bills, and the Ravens are all ahead of the Eagles. So that says a lot right there. And you know what I'm saying about what they think about Jalen Hurts. But at the end of the day, um, it's just gonna be interesting to see how Lamar bounce back this year, man. This upcoming season, man. Is he's gonna come with? I mean, it got. I mean, I want to see him win, man, because his story, man, and just what he's done. Like, you had guys like Bill Polian that was telling him he need to change position to be a wide receiver or a running back. You had, that people doubted him, and for
Right.
him to win two MVPs and get better every year, get better and better, it says a lot. He still got another step to take, and I think if he take that next step, man, he can be a Super Bowl winning MVP. But I don't know, man. It's gonna be kind of hard to do in the AFC when you got that damn Holmes, man.
Right. I mean, for me now, my departures this week. My first one, man. I got the NFL Honor Show, when you look at everything around, it was entertaining and everything. But my thing is this, man. Lamar supposed to win MVP. I mean, I get it. They wanted Josh Allen to win one, but just looking at the numbers, man, his numbers, man, was far beyond his. I mean, I guess you want to look at the talent that he had and everything, but I mean, like, let's not act like Josh Allen had a bunch of drop shots on his team because Amari Cooper did come there. You get what I'm saying? You did draft a receiver. But at the same time, man, you have to look at everything like what Lamar Jackson was able to do, man. Like, I mean, you talking about the number of touchdowns he had, fewer interceptions and whatnot, and almost rushing for 1,000 yards. Like, that was unheard of what he was able to do this season. Like, so I mean, to not get, I mean, not even nominated for offensive player of the year, but you first team all pro at the quarterback position, but you don't win the MVP. Like, that was crazy or whatnot. I
Hmm.
thought he should have won it, but at the same time, man, Josh Allen, he had a he had a good season. He had an MVP worthy season, but Lamar still should have got it. But I guess they want other people to get the award. I understand it. It's understandable.
Facts. You already
But
knew what it was though, man.
so
Protection for the complexion. That's all I'm gonna say.
and I wasn't even going that far with it. What I was basically going to say is that sometimes they won't. Like sometimes look at the NBA, like LeBron, he don't win it every time they feel that he deserves it. You get what I'm saying? So
You
that was the angle.
kind of like what everybody think about when Steve Nash won it that year. Everybody thought Kobe should have won it, but they gave it to Steve Nash.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron, a lot of years, he the best player in the NBA. Like, you look at what he doing
Gotcha.
from top to bottom, but he don't win the award every year. You get what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So, okay, man, I chose to look at it that way. So, but that was one of my departures. My second departure, man.
Hmm.
Oh man, and I know we talked about this a lot, man. I gotta go with Drake, man. Drake, man, like I say, man, Drake took a L, man. That was crazy, man. You talking about, man, built the ass, man, at his finest, man. Like, oh wow, like that took a lot of
That was
pressure
built
off
the
what
ass. That
happened
was
to
straight built the ass.
that took a lot of pressure what happened to Patrick Mahomes, man.
Yeah, it
Like,
did.
like, man, come on, like, sure, that was crazy. But that was my two departures, man.
That's what's up, man. And on that note, uh, man, it's your boy Joe.
This your boy Greg.
Check us out on YouTube. Oh, we all on YouTube. I'm sorry. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, man. Follow us on all our socials, man. Like I say, man, we just getting back into the swing of things on the podcast. Um, got another couple more, got another month before we start season 3, man, of the Co-Pilots podcast. Next month, we're gonna make season 3, 3 years of doing the podcast, man. Started season 3, and I think that's a big accomplishment for us, man. Tell you how committed, dedicated, that we want to give out the best sports content in the state and shit in the world, bro.
Yo, true.
You know what I'm saying? And with that note, man, it's your boy Joe,
This your boy Greg.
and we out.
Yo.
Peace.